and you join us on this week's podcast for The Voice. I'm Duncan Cushman, and this is Sam Seeney.
I'm the senior correspondent here at The Voice, and together we are going to be taking you through the week.
We are looking at local news, national news. We are speaking to people from the Education Enhancement Society.
What a great society.
Oh, yeah, they were great people. They really are. I reckon they're going to be great people.
I reckon they will be. And I reckon I'm going to make a couple of cock-ups, but there you go.
Who knows? And then you talk sport.
Yep, riveting sport conversation.
Oh, yes, talk sport. Not the channel talk sport, but they're just talking sport.
We are just talking sport.
And we've spoken to someone on the phone.
The phone? Who did we speak to, Duncan?
We spoke to a friend who was at the lights.
We are yet to speak to someone who is at the lights.
We are.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Okay, enjoy. Over to me with the news. Hello and welcome to the news section of our podcast. I'm Duncan. On my left, I have Vito.
Hello.
On his left, we have Sai.
Hello.
And on his left, we have Shannon.
Hello.
Hello. We got a girl here as well. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Finally.
We're balancing up the genders.
Yes.
We're keeping it real, you know.
Quality man. Come on. It's 2016, isn't it?
So we're here in Worcester. Is anybody scared of a bomb?
Boom.
Right. There's been 2 bombs found in Worcester. Up in Norton next to Shrub Hill.
Yeah.
On the railway
So
line.
everyone be aware and don't get blasted away, I guess. It's not a terrorist threat, but yeah, beware.
So does anyone else know about these bombs? I don't. Tell me.
Basically, I think they found historical unexploded World War II bombs, and that's what they found. And I think they did a controlled explosion.
Yeah, it's about 11:30.
Yeah, earlier today. And I don't know anything up to date on it recently, though.
No, well, they said that they're just finishing it all off, but obviously, because it's dark, they're having to leave some of it till tomorrow.
Exactly.
So they found the second one a bit later on, didn't they?
Yeah, the bomb team from Telford said that apparently it happens quite a lot, like bombs being found from 1940s and World War II bombs just being dug up.
Yeah, it was dug up by a drainage worker.
Yeah,
so,
accidentally.
Yeah. But fortunately, it's been detonated,
It's
so
been,
we're all safe.
We're all safe.
We're
Yeah.
all safe here in Worcester, so don't be scared.
Not much
Nope.
danger coming.
I wonder when they're going to repair the train tracks and stuff like that then.
It's been chaos recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, because they had the
Railway
Bromsgrove, the line, they were re-electrifying that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or is it bombs grow?
Good one.
Well, hopefully, obviously, these bombs have disappeared, but another thing that sounds like will be disappearing will be staples.
Oh, yeah.
The office supply, because they've now been sold back over to an American firm, which is now it's gonna phase out the retail shops, and then from there, it's gonna go online. But I mean, Staples, it's a staple of the high street, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit of a landmark, isn't it? Yeah.
People said the exact same thing about Woolworths, but it's still online and it's still reasonably successful. So.
But then, who shops at Woolworths online? Do any of us?
No,
it's not the same. Pick and mix, not the same online.
That is true.
I mean, like if you want a good office chair, you got to go to Staples. I mean, I recently purchased a lovely office chair. It was a couple of $100 or so, but it's a really nice office chair. Now, I think if you're going to buy a chair, something like that, you want to be able to sit in it first. That's what you want to do. With Staples going, where's going to be the facility for that? I don't want to buy it from Argos, IKEA.
No.
I'm not going to be able to put it together.
Amazon.
How are you not going to put it together from IKEA?
They're flat pack, aren't they?
It comes in Swedish,
Yeah,
the instructions.
Yeah, they have instructions.
Picture instructions as well. You literally cannot go wrong. It's like AB to BC. You can't go wrong.
Oh, Duncan can go wrong, I guess. When he has a pint, he's like,
just the one.
just the one.
I've been having 2-3 a night for the past week.
Singularity.
Third year of struggles.
Yeah, third year struggles. And yet here I am running a society for everyone. And I'm just looking at these eager eyes. Who's going to be coup d'etat? Who's going to get rid of me?
No.
It won't be Sam, I can tell you that.
No.
Really? That's who I was looking at.
Well, he's a fourth year.
Yeah, he's gone next year as well.
Oh,
Well,
Could be you.
could be.
Or could be one of these listeners that might think, you know what? I want to get in on The Voice.
I'll do it. I'll kick Duncan out. I can't wait.
Don't do it just yet.
Go on, guys. Don't worry about it. Just go on.
You've got this.
Be merciless.
Yeah. Though going on to a bit heavier news, Joe Cox.
Yes.
Recently, obviously that's gone to court. Witnesses have heard quite a lot about it. Really.
There was a taxi driver, wasn't there, that witnessed the whole thing?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Turns out it was politically aggravated.
Mm.
Yeah, just all.
It was a very shocking death, honestly, because I think it was one of the first politician deaths in a long time.
Yes.
And
It doesn't
the
really.
news reporter, remember that she got killed on her doorstep, didn't she?
yeah,
Not quite sure on her name, but she.
yeah,
So
no,
that was
I
quite a
can't
while
remember.
ago.
I heard she was brutally murdered. Like
Joe
she
Cox.
was shot and then stabbed multiple times afterwards. Yes, Joe Cox. Yeah. You don't see that quite often,
You
do
don't
you?
see it often, yeah.
Especially with politicians.
Yeah, and I remember the first time when the story came out, most people were thinking that it was a racially aggravated assault because there was I think it was an Asian man or something like that near the scene. So
Oh, okay.
I was really surprised by that, honestly.
But it turns out to be politically.
Yeah, I mean, I've just got it up here, and that one of the one of the witnesses, he was saying that, you know, he was going to see Mrs. Cox at a surgery when he saw a man with a knife, woman lying on the floor in blood, and that just this guy blasted at her with a gun. Just the world that we live in, you know. This woman, she's trying to represent the people, and someone's obviously been unhappy with her, and yet taking this action. But I mean, obviously, it's a rarity in here. I think that was more the shock of it to everyone. The fact that it was through this a gun crime almost as much as the fact a politician had been killed in. I hesitate to use in the line of duty, but it more or less was in.
Yeah. Well, she was just coming back or going to her going to work, and she was going to do what she does best. And I think all the comments that came through when she was killed. They were positive. They were saying what a lovely woman she was, the work she does.
Yeah. She did quite a lot of her policies were very, very philanthropist, which is, I know it's inappropriate, but couldn't just Trump be assassinated?
I think Clinton has made calls for that.
Why do we lose good politicians?
She
really?
She has contacts.
Yeah.
I think he's at risk. They did say that there was like loads of things on Twitter.
He is at risk. Did you see his Trump hotel being all like fenced with huge like fences and stuff?
Well, yes, I have seen some of the apartment buildings he helped fund getting built. Even though he doesn't own them anymore, he still had like his Trump on there as a name. The residents there have petitioned to get rid
taken away.
of it.
I saw that. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you would have done it if you lived there. Like with all the
I certainly
protests going on. Yeah, you would definitely do it. But yeah, Nigel Farage recently hung out with him.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
In
and
the
not
golden
on
elevator.
not on the best day in the golden lift. Yes, not on the
Yeah.
best day. Of all the days he chose, he remembers Sunday. Which
Yes,
is,
and I hear he wasn't wearing a poppy.
he's
Yeah.
not. He was not
That
wearing a
caused
poppy.
uproar.
Yeah.
I still think it's ridiculous that Nigel Farage was the first politician to meet Donald Trump after the election.
Oh,
That
yeah.
no big leaders like from Russia, China, never met him in person first. Like that is amazing.
No, he loves him. He loves him. I think he got in there because Trump's people are ex people of Nigel Farage. They've been like co-workers, so that's how he got to him.
And now he's trying to get his way into the British government right now.
Yeah, they probably share the same sexist, racist, Islamophobic, xenophobic, and other phobic.
Well, it's also the
thoughts.
fact that I know Theresa May said she wants a Reagan-Thatcher relationship with Trump. And I'll see it in Farage saying, I should be the middleman. I've got contacts in Trump's administration, in his team, in his cabinet, etc., etc. I should be involved. But really, why? Because he wasn't elected to government to help make these deals. If Trump appoints him, that's within Trump's right. But I think it'd be very wrong and anti-democratic to appoint for Trump to appoint Farage to deal with us.
I thought it was the other way around. That you wanted the British, Farage wanted the British government to appoint not him.
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. But I think Trump might.
I
for the
doubt,
reverse.
Yeah.
But I very much doubt. I don't think that Farage should be involved in these negotiations at all.
Yeah, and they used on a downfall as well with £150,000 due to be being paid. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, well, they're not the only political party recently to get in trouble with their funding. You know, you had the Labour scandal with the Ed Stone that then properly shown out their their tax returns, their receipts for it. So a bit of an expenses scandal. They're obviously not on the scale of the original expenses scandal. Apparently, singer Rick Astley has reacted to a mashup video featuring his song "Never Gonna Give You Up" and Manchester United's midfielder Paul Pogba.
Did this just come in?
Yeah, it's just come in. I just saw the words Rick Astley, and that took my mind. I'm curious if the sports team they're
definitely discussing this across the whole.
I'm sure.
Yes,
I'm sure. Let's see.
I thought you were going to tell me he died.
I was about to say.
Literally, I thought, because like that's what seems to be happening.
Literally, this year has been the worst year for celebrity deaths.
Yes,
ever.
exactly. Well, who passed away like literally days ago? The great
Robert
singer.
Vaughan.
No, the great singer Leonard Cohen. Is that how you pronounce his surname? Probably not.
Cohen.
I did all right, I guess. For an
I'd go with
guy.
Cohen.
Cohen.
No, for me, it was Friday night. I saw that Robert Vaughan had died.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a sad one. I mean, I enjoyed him in Hustle. Okay, really he was
not much hustle going on here.
he was in Towering Inferno, A Man from U.N.C.L.E., Magnificent the original Magnificent Seven. Obviously, he wasn't in the recent one. That'd be a bit weird if he was. So yeah, but a lot of death obviously happening in Mosul.
Oh yeah, let's move on to UK being involved in more international affairs. We got more action going on in Mosul, where Iraqi army was allegedly not allegedly, fact proven, been calling for help from UK to get special kind of bombs to kind of get the ISIS fighters out of their bunkers and holes, because they've been digging themselves quite deep and they've been like really resilient to the actions. So yeah, that's something I don't think UK is going to do. I'm pretty sure one of the spokesmen said that's not going to happen. They're just not allowing it, not setting any weapons, keeping their papers clean in a way. And other international news, we got also the Paris Treaty.
Yes, the climate change. Yeah, I was just checking with the Iraq, and it's thermobaric weapons they've asked for,
which
create kind of a shockwave that they have been used by us because it's quite an advanced but somewhat classified technology. I doubt we'd give it.
But UK's not going to admit we have those, do we?
We have them.
Yeah,
I think that's. But I mean, but then would we give them? Because I mean, we
don't want to risk hurting the civilians.
Well, we're still selling weapons to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
we're selling them fighter jets, state-of-the-art, fourth-generation fighter jets,
and they are in war. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
So but anyway, what were you about to say
about Iraq? Asking for the bombs.
Oh no! After that.
Oh, the Paris.
Oh yes, the
climate change.
The climate change. Obviously, because that's more or less final. They believe tomorrow is going to be an announcement from the government saying it's been ratified, which is going to be good because I think it's a very good treaty. The fact that it's a
lot of work for Boris Johnson. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, but
God help us.
The first thing you've actually done, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, it's also the thing with Boris. As a foreign secretary, realistically, at the same time, he's got a lot on, but he hasn't got a lot on.
He's probably just dividing his work to other people.
Well, no, Theresa May did that for him because she created the Minister for Brexit.
Oh, that's right.
And then
what's his name? David Davis.
David
Davis.
And then you had a trade minister to create all these trade deals.
Yeah, so he's basically useless. He's just there as a mascot.
So items that would before they would come under the remit of the foreign secretary have now been taken away. But then it makes me think, is Boris still going to take point on these? Are those two still going to report to him? Is he going to be involved in any of these trade negotiations?
I think this is a bit of placeholder, honestly, that they've just literally had him for the sake of it and they've divided his roles to other more qualified people.
Exactly.
Are you calling Boris unqualified?
Oh, how dare you!
I can't confirm nor deny that.
Get out of this room immediately.
I'll just rewind the audio and we'll find out.
Well, yeah, he's definitely not going to be a decision maker on that Mosul Iraq battle. Maybe he is, God knows, but
hopefully not.
I hope not. Yeah.
Well, it's also with I know throughout Trump. I don't want to go too much into Trump because if you want to hear about Trump, there is our US election podcast special you can listen to.
Yes.
Shameless plug.
Well, I put a lot of effort in that podcast. If you've got an hour to spare, it's the one to listen to. And after you've listened to this one,
favoritism right there, ladies and gentlemen.
What can I say? But because throughout his campaign, he's a denier of climate change, isn't he? He doesn't believe climate change happens,
which is a scientifically proven thing.
I mean, we all saw that video couple of months back on the Australian panel show. One of their ministers said it doesn't exist, and Brian Cox there. Here's a graph. There's a graph. There's no scientific proof. Here's the graph. This is the proof. But also, I think as much as Trump is going to deny it, it's going to be hard to go back on it because the US has already ratified the treaty, so they can't pull out of it for another 3 years. And it'd be very bad of him to just ignore this treaty, which has been ratified by the governments of the US. And to get it de-ratified would be too much. And I think Congress, they'll still hold him to account with that treaty.
To be fair, though, Trump has gone back on a lot of his promises in the election, so I'm not surprised if he's going to go back on.
Yeah.
He suddenly believes that climate change is real.
Yeah, but then also I know Obama's doing his last tour of Europe. He's been meeting with Angela Merkel.
Yeah, they're giving a talk tonight, I think.
Yes,
really?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe as we speak.
Oh, wow.
Well, yesterday I was in the studio and recording something else, and not betraying us.
What is
Very
this?
busy
Ooh,
bee.
It's got a bit on the side. Go on.
I
Put it on the side.
But I was looking at obviously keeping an eye on the news software as you do, and in came from Sky. It did say not for broadcast, and it did say tomorrow that Obama and Angela Merkel were expected to meet, and they have now. We can confirm that. And she's saying that she's going to do everything she can to work well with Donald Trump. And it's just when world leaders are saying we'll do all we can, I think.
Yeah,
it's
to
not like you
collaborate
really have a
with the United
choice.
States.
They're saying it. I think it goes
They
without
don't want to
saying
start a
really.
war because
Yeah.
they know he's a Mongol. He's going to start a war if they say anything wrong. Pretty much.
Apparently, rail companies have paid out £45 million in compensation to delayed passengers in England and Wales over the past year.
That does not surprise me.
Now, are any of us here big train travellers? I am.
I've been crammed on a train multiple times.
How many of us have actually asked for a refund for our ticket, whether it be delayed or...
None.
That's funny you should say that, because about 3 weeks ago, I had to take I was getting the train, obviously, back home, but I had to get a coach instead to another train station because I think they found one broken line. And they said, you can claim this money back. But I never actually did. It's too much of an effort to actually do. They don't make it easy for you, so that's probably why not many people actually do it, because it's hard. It's an effort.
It's an effort to get them to squeeze the money out of them, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, they're getting worse. They are.
Yeah, I mean,
worse.
obviously, you got Southern Rail. I mean, they've just been terrible this past year. The amount of strikes. They want to get rid of guards from the train. They want to, make it that single guy. The conductor of the train, the driver, as it were, rather than having the guard and to bring it down. And then you've got the mass strikes, which has been causing further problems with those in the south commuting. And I know London Midland, they get a lot of slack, but rarely I find have they ever been too terrible.
Yeah.
Really.
Maybe they should sack the drivers who drive 3 times over the speed limit.
Well, that was a tram driver.
In a U-turn.
That was a tram driver, not a train driver.
Okay. Fair play. Well, yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just it boggles the mind how these trains are getting delayed, and then at the same time you got them pushing forward HS2. It's going to be tens of billions
They're
of
still
pounds.
going on with that then, really?
HS2, it's going ahead.
Oh my
20
God.
years time,
20
2032, I think.
Yeah, it's way in the future, in the future.
But there was ITV did a report on people that were going to lose their houses. That a brand new housing estate that was recently built is going to be knocked down
for HS2.
For
Ridiculous.
HS2 line.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, because the problem is to actually make it quicker. Even with the quicker trains, you've got to go the direct line. If you have to create all the detours to go around these stuff, it's going to be no quicker.
Yeah.
So
makes no sense.
Yeah.
All that money.
All right, guys.
Hey.
Have a good night, whoever listened to
Anyway,
us.
it's goodbye from all of us here.
Yes, and keep up with the news.
Yeah. Bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Well, just as a late-minute addition to the news, today, on the day of recording, the lights in the Worcester High Street are being turned on. Obviously, I'm here stuck in a radio studio, but on the phone here, hello, Gina. So can you tell me, what's the atmosphere like there over on the High Street with the turning on of the lights?
It's buzzing, so happy, so Christmassy. Literally, every single person walking past each other saying Merry Christmas. It's so nice.
What can you describe the lights to us? That's if they've been turned on yet.
Yeah, they've been turned on. They are gold and silver. They're really pretty. They're making the city dazzle. It's really nice.
Was there any famous celebrities there to turn on the lights?
There was Pudsey the bear.
Pudsey the bear.
Pudsey the bear.
Was he giving hugs and smiles afterwards?
He was going around the city giving hugs and smiles. There was also a Robbie Williams tribute act.
Oh, very nice.
Really good.
Well, I can say over here in the radio studio, I've been listening to an Ollie Murs CD.
A what?
Ollie Murs CD.
Oh my god.
Everyone's been mocking me because of that choice. But is there anything else you would describe to us from the lights? Anything else worth knowing?
Just that it's an all-round happy experience. It's nice to see Worcester becoming a community and having some fun together, really. That's about it.
Okay, thank you very much, Gina. Cheers.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye.
So yes, that was the news, and now to the interview with the lovely people from the Education Enhancement Society, and then we'll be going over to sport. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, in this week's interview, we've gone from Matt Sargent to two lovely ladies from the Education Enhancement Secretary. We have Taylor, their chair lady, and Sophie, their members reps, and also Sam's here, senior correspondent, Sini, sitting in with us just in case.
Hello again, guys.
Do you ladies want to say hello to everyone?
Hello, everyone.
Well, straight off the bat, do you just want to tell us what you're about? I'm guessing it's something to do with teaching.
Well, yes, it's everything education-based. So it's a skills-based society which we are using to equip our students from various courses, not just education, with skills that they can use, preferably for a career in education. So some of the workshops we're running so far are handwriting workshops, mental health in the primary school, eating disorders in the primary school, and we had yesterday a fantastic voice coaching one.
I believe I'm correct in knowing that you were newly formed this year.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that? Because I'm guessing as chair you were involved.
Yes. Well, yeah. I was Institute Rep for Education, one of 4 last year. And we came up with the idea because we were given £1,000 as a bursary to invest in some aspect of learning and teaching. So we decided to create the society a year ago, but it only launched this year. So the idea has been in the pipeline for a while, but no, this was the grand launch this September.
Yeah. And I'm guessing at the Societies Fair you had a hell of a lot of footfall because you've ended up with 165 members.
We didn't predict this, did we? We went to the fair and we had everything ready and it was absolutely fantastic. The success was unbelievable, and on the actual fair we had 100 members straight off, so it was brilliant.
And as Sophie, as members rep, how do you deal with 165 members?
I have lots of messages every day from the students, and I have said that I'm here whenever you need me 24/7, and it doesn't have to be about the education enhancement, it could be about anything. I'm here for you, just as a helping friend really, and I support them mainly within the workshops as well. So if they've got any questions, I'll put them forward, or even if they come up with another workshop, then I can forward that to Taylor and the secretary, etc.
Let's say going from workshops, obviously you've got loads on. I mean, as you mentioned, you've got your eating disorder within primary schools, and you've got the mental health, you've got a safari social, and you've got a running a sports day workshop. Mm-hmm. Just even those few in the next couple of weeks. I mean, how are you coming up with the ideas for these workshops, or working out what people will want? Or
it's mainly in response to what our courses don't really offer at the moment. Obviously with timing, the primary teaching course is so busy with taught lectures and school placements, so we can't fit everything in. So it's in response to what we would want, and we do use our judgment in that sense, but we do have students asking for specific workshops, which our fantastic secretary, Shani, she's just a superwoman, she does it all for us.
Yeah, fantastic.
So is it a committee of 4 or 5 then? Or how many?
There's 4 of us at the moment, but we are expanding. We have 3 roles that we have released that we are looking for: the secretary, the social media rep, and the welfare officer. Yeah,
because I guess as with 165 members and the biggest society in the uni, you really do need that support team to help everyone, and also just even manage internally. But with 165 members, I think that's one of the main. I don't want to say it's the only thing that put you in contention for the Teamwork Society of the Month award that you won. Do you think you are just going to knock it down every month? I just look at the SU What's On page and it's education. Are you going to give anyone else a chance?
Well, we probably won the award because we grew so exponentially. We were told that we'd only get around 20 to 30 members. That was realistic. I said 50, Andy Wager just pretty much laughed in my face, which he wouldn't mind me saying. So it just grew and grew. So the rate that we grew, we actually beat anime and manga.
Yeah, because I was going to say that...
we've got a grudge about that.
Yeah, I was coming for them from the start. So they were all sleeping on us and we were there.
Yeah, because I know the chairman quite well, and he was like, "Oh, we're going to be the biggest society this year again. 70, 80 members." He was thinking, "We've got this," and then in you come, boom! With the new kids in town, we're on the block.
Yes, exactly. Knocked it out the park, but they should have been ready.
Well, do you think the Students' Union was ready for almost a society this large?
I don't think they were, but they have been hugely supportive.
Yes.
And back to your original question. It's a lot of pressure for us. Obviously, we'd like to win the awards every month, but now we've got the award and we've got, 170 members under our belt. We've got to keep them there. We've got to make sure our workshops are good. We retain the members, so there is probably more pressure now than there was before.
All we can say really is that we are going to support the members throughout the whole year, and winning awards is just a bonus really, because our aims are to support teachers, up-and-coming people that are going to work with children, and supporting them with the workshops and additional things that will enhance them further. So,
I mean, when you were starting, were you ever worried that, because it's almost such a specific to, one not course as such, but one facet of the uni, were you ever worried that might not allow it to be as broad as or open to the rest of the unis you wanted?
Yes, obviously with the other general interest societies like the Harry Potter Society, it does appeal to a larger audience. I think I probably underestimated how many people did have an interest in education, because we've got 280 members on the page alone, so there is an interest there. The University of Worcester's only ever been rooted in education. It was a teacher training college in 1946, so the expertise is there, but it's just nice to see so many students from other institutes getting on board as well.
I was going to say, you might not have the exact statistic, but I mean, are many of your members actually from outside of the education courses?
Yeah,
yes,
we have quite a few.
We have sport students,
international students,
psychology students. I mean, a lot of them, I'll be realistic, do want to go into teaching. So our course is obviously a good stepping stone into PGCE courses or, foundation degrees. So, yes.
So would you say that you underestimated the breadth of the demographics you appealed to, really? Because, I mean, from sitting here listening to you two, or you three rather, not undermining you, Duncan, gabble on, it seems to me that you set out for the sole purpose, or with the primary objective, shall we say, of providing help for people on the teaching courses. But you've just said yourselves, you've got these international students coming, and I suspect that's to help them with their studies, understand English better, get better writing techniques and things like that. Are you a victim of your own success? In a positive way. Let's say positive.
Go on, Sophie. Have a go at answering that.
It was convoluted, but the point was there.
Are we a victim of our own success?
I'm just going to say the next committee obviously do have a very high standard to meet, but
clearly
we do have faith in the types of students we've got as society members at the moment. I probably would have liked a slight increase, gradual, probably 50 members, it goes up slightly. So yeah, we've smashed targets very quickly, which does put a lot of pressure on me. And Sophie, responsible for all those people. But yeah, I guess to a certain degree we are.
I guess what I was trying to say in a roundabout way was, can you tell us a bit more about the different demographics or the different sections of your member base?
Now, you did mention international students and wanting academic help. We've said from the start that wasn't the purpose or aim of our society. We're not there to equip people with, techniques on writing the perfect essay, because it is more child-based. So, yes, our handwriting workshop was good at helping you reflect on how you hold a pencil, but the prime aim of that would be how to implement that in the classroom and teach children. So we do have, Sophie has had a few members ask her, are you going to provide academic writing support? And we have had to be honest and say, look, it's not worth the £10 membership fee if that's what you're attending workshops for, because we're not going to cover that. hindsight, we probably could weave that in, but I mean, it's obviously relevant to education, but it's children's education, I'd say.
We do, of course, obviously point them in the right direction. So when having messages such as, are you able to support me with writing assignments and things, I will obviously point them to the more professionals that have obviously got a job in supporting within assignment writing, so the people in Pearson and Breedon and things like that. But what I do try to put across is that, of course, that we are supporting all that are within a profession that are relating to children and things. So we do support all. And if I do get messages like that, then I do tend to, obviously, don't shut the door, but obviously say redirect, definitely. So.
But then I'm guessing also, because it's such a almost a professional stepping stone, going into teaching, it's a career that, or a career choice that involves, very dedicated and specific kind of great qualifications to get there, because of the effect that you have once you are in that job. So it makes me wonder, as a society, are you fully like student led, or do you have a lot of your lecturers or people from the courses coming in to help?
Or is that an idea that you haven't really?
We do mainly get in experts, professionals, just because it's good exposure for them as well. So we had the ATL union come in and deliver our voice coaching workshop, which obviously promoted their union amongst us too. But for instance, in the summer term, we will be leading workshops on behaviour management, how to write a lesson plan, just because it's good practice for us as third years to deliver those to first and second years. And it's cheaper. Obviously, the people we bring in, we do have to pay for. Some of them come for free. But yes.
Well, I was going to say, obviously, basic maths, £10 joining fee, 165 people, 1,600 quid there. How are you looking to, I'm guessing, obviously, you want to reinvest that within the society. Do you have any plans with where that's going to go to, better fulfil the members what they get from the society?
Well, the reason we could offer a £10 membership fee for the year is because we already had £1,000 in the pot. So our budget is looking even healthier than you've just stated. We're just shy of £2,500 so far. So in response to that, we can offer our members a trip free of cost to the education show. So we're paying for the coach, and we've been given a bursary from the Students' Union to cover some of that as well. And in July the 10th next year, we're going on a day trip to London. So that will only probably cost our members around £5 max for a whole day in London. Can't really complain with that. So that's where the money's going. But we obviously need to leave some in the pot for the next committee, just in case it doesn't take off as well as it has this year.
Well, can you tell us a bit about this education show? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, I've never been, but I've heard a lot about it. So it's an education show put on at the NEC in Birmingham, and I've heard you get given lots of freebies and resources, and there are unions there and teaching experts. And
loads of professionals, so how to teach on your first day, which is quite a scary thought to think, what would I do with my children, and displays and how to support them, even the little things like supporting them like with the transition of saying bye to mum and dad, and to have like different strategies to help them with that. So it's lots of freebies, loads of professionals there, mainly though to support, and you can choose where you can go throughout the day.
I want to ask you both, which has been the best received workshop that you've done so far, and which has been your personal favourite workshop that you've done so far in terms of funness and reception?
Well, we've only done 2.
Okay, that's great. So out of those two,
someone hasn't done their research. Out of those 2,
I did warn you, I hadn't briefed him.
The one that took off the most was obviously the first one, which was the Morales Handwriting Bootcamp. We had around 90 members in attendance at that one. We were lucky that we picked a good day when first years, second years and third years were all in. But our workshop yesterday was very practical and fun. That was the ATL voice coaching one. But unfortunately, we had a lot of second years out on their visit days in school. So we only had around 40 people turn up to that one but it would have been more. It's difficult. We're trying to cater for everyone.
Okay, so bearing in mind that obviously my knowledge is lacking, can you then tell me, if I rephrase the question, which workshop are you looking forward to the most in the coming weeks, months?
Go on,
I'm
Sophie.
hedging my bets here.
Let's have a look.
We've just got so many
to choose from.
Good.
Why aren't
More
debate
subject
putting on,
matter.
why Mr. Debate Members Rep? Why aren't you putting on?
Well, actually,
We're going to make debate great again.
I've got a funny story because at the Societies Fair, the Debate Society were positioned opposite us.
Oh, that was funny.
And they were broken men. We were really trying.
He wasn't on board then.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't.
But I think I remember seeing your stall, actually.
Yeah.
I see them around now and I'm just like...
We were bringing everyone over and they kept coming up to us, how many have you got now? And we were sort of pushing them over, but...
No, you'll embarrass me.
Yeah. He was just next to them, wasn't he?
Yes.
Funny day.
But no...
In the salmon shirt.
Yeah.
In salmon shirt. Looked dashing.
We had uniforms. That's probably why we got so many sign-ups.
Yeah, we did.
Unified. Okay, my favourite, the workshop I'm most looking forward to is mindfulness in the classroom, because I think it's going to be applicable to my own life. Everyone needs a bit of mindfulness.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that is?
I haven't got the description, but I think it's around meditation, how to get children prepared for particularly stressful times like SATs and tests. But obviously, techniques you learn will be relevant to your own life. So, yes, that would be my choice.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Well, say with these workshops, 7th of December, you've got a running a sports day, I believe. Can you just tell me a bit about kind of is that so much about the planning of it, or will you actually use that and then actually months to go, obviously I know you're not going to run a sports day on the 7th of December, it might be a bit cold and rainy for that, but I mean, with like any other workshops in the future, are they actually going to be in a practical field that you might actually get involved with a primary school itself?
Hopefully.
And utilise?
There is definitely room for that. But yes, the running a sports day is all about planning, management, what could go wrong.
Because obviously it's for the whole school, so it's quite a daunting thing to plan.
Big operation.
So it is about particular activities that you can hold to support all children, because obviously there is some children that may have specific disabilities and things like that. So it's how to cater for all the children within Sports Day and unite the school as one big community to have a fun day. So it's all about the planning, the structure, and how to cater for all.
So is that what you're looking forward to the most?
I am, because I'm a sports coach outside of the university anyway. So I am very interested to gain more strategies that I can implement within my future classroom. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
Well, I'm also seeing that you've got a mental health awareness. I'm just curious. Obviously, I know generally you will get a lot of support from the Students' Union, but kind of what level is that going to? Because I know the SU President Jade Haley, she's a big forefront.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, maybe not activist is the right word, but she's definitely strong advocate of mental health. I know she studied psychology, and that's one of the things she holds dear. What in her mandate, she said she wants to bring in a second mental health awareness week to the uni. So is she getting involved in kind of that, or would you look to perhaps open a bridge with her to see if she'd want to be involved in it?
It isn't a route that we've explored, but we definitely, all of our events are open to everyone. We're supposed to be having a photographer from the Students' Union pop in yesterday, but they didn't. But it would be lovely to get Jade on board. She could perhaps offer her perspective on things, because again, it's going to be applicable to our own lives.
So I think we're coming to the end of this.
Well, hang on. Not just yet.
Not just yet.
I've got 2 more questions.
He wants to get them in quick.
Well, I was going to say local. I've heard that you've got like ties with local businesses like Boston Tea Party.
Yes,
Ooh, that was my
we
tie,
do.
Yeah.
Do you mean the American political movement?
No, we mean the
Boston Tea Party.
The cafe in town.
So can you tell us a bit about this special relationship?
I'm not disappointed. I like a good cup of tea.
Well, we go on, Sophie. Sophie organised it for us.
So I was looking for an event for the members to join, so we can get to know each other and just basically like an icebreaker for all the students. So I got into contact with Boston Tea Party. and organised a meeting with her, and we could discuss how we can have a partnership together. So we could always have meetings there and socialise there and things like that. So she was lovely, the manager, and we've got really good connections with her now from that first meeting. So.
Well, I was going to say, because I'm guessing you'd have to look to do something like that, because trying to get whether you would get everyone on the same day, but 165 people in the same room, even probably the bigger lecture theatres here would be the struggle.
It is. So we did fill the majority of upstairs, and it was really nice actually to speak to different people that have, at this point, some first years have only just moved in, so they were still quite in a vulnerable stage of, where is everything? And, I've got lectures coming up soon. So it was really nice to speak to them and ease them, and then also talk to the second and third years as well, and others that were not on teaching. So that was really lovely.
And now, Taylor, I don't know whether this is directly linked to the Education Enhancement Society, but the uni Snapchat takeover.
Oh, yes. I have taken over the Snapchat all week. It's drawing to a close. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Do you want to get one final snap off here? Come on.
I will.
Don't encourage her.
No, I have been avidly snapping all week. I love Snapchat. I love social media. And I'm a student ambassador, but I blog as well. So it was quite...
You can name and shame your blog post here.
It's it's the Worcester Student Life blog, the university blog.
Yep.
And I was asked by my manager, would you like to take over the Snapchat for the week? And obviously I said yes, but it's a very big responsibility. It's the first time they've ever done it. Hopefully they'll do it again. I don't think I've done too bad of a job, but now I'm really enjoying it.
Cool. I know you've got your iPad there. Is there anything else you want to let anybody know who's listening before we wrap up?
Give us a shameless plug.
Okay, so if you haven't already, you can join the Facebook group. It is open to all students at the University of Worcester, not just society members, just to see what we're doing. We are offering memberships still. There is a second semester membership, which is £5.
Yeah.
Because you would have missed some of the workshops we're doing if you're just deliberating whether to join or not. And please consider joining us, joining our fantastic committee. We're a really good team. We're calling out to all first years and second years to either take up the secretary, social media rep or welfare officer role, and you'll be fully supported and trained for that. But no, thank you so much for
inviting
Thank you for coming on. Mate.
No, thank you.
Honestly, you've been great, and I mean everything you've done. I don't know about you, Duncan, but it's astounded me in here.
Oh, it has.
Really impressive. Really impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, I will say goodbye now, and thank you for joining us. Bye.
Now we're going to talk about sport with me, Admin Chowdhury. If you want to introduce yourself, guys, as well.
Dave Watkins.
And me, Sam Sini.
So last time we got through topical stuff when we did the sport. It's been 3-4 weeks since we last did it, and
we've missed you.
Yeah, we've missed our listeners, our 20-30 listeners right now.
We've missed you so much. Please like, subscribe, and go to our Patreon page.
donate. But so a lot's happened since the last time we talked about sport. A lot of stuff from football, tennis especially, F1 as well. But we can start with football. And something which is sort of newsy and sporty, the Poppy situation. The latest update is that FIFA are opening disciplinary actions against England and Scotland, or both their football associations, for wearing the Poppy on their armbands when they played each other on Friday night. Friday night? Was it Friday? I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, it was Friday.
I think it was Friday, yeah. Because we played on Tuesday, yeah. So, so they're doing that. First of all, what do you guys think about the whole situation? Should we have worn poppies in the first place, or...?
I think we should, because at the end of the day, it's a symbol to remember the dead, and I don't think that FIFA should have made such a big deal out of it. And the fact that they're opening disciplinary proceedings is quite... not necessarily shocking, but it's quite an overreaction from them.
Yeah. Fair enough.
If you go by the letter of the law, with their guidelines, it says that there should be no political or religious symbols in the game, and I can understand why they've put that in place. But personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing a poppy. I think it's an inoffensive symbol.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can really view it in an offensive way, because as Dave says, all it is honouring the fallen, be it German, be it British. The Germans don't really adopt it as much, but it has that connotation to it.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a few people from my lecture about it last week, and I think, I believe that sort of FIFA are right in trying to enforce their law. I mean, I'm not like some sort of World War I hater or like a poppy hater or something like that. I obviously respect and value what our soldiers did over 100 years ago. But I just think that, because aside from the whole poppy matter, we've been arguing with FIFA about so many things over so many years. And if we're just going to have some sort of double standard, sort of, we're going to listen to some rules but not all, it sort of gives a bit of bad impression, I think. But I guess it's a very sensitive topic, very strong, topic people have strong feelings about it. But yeah, that's just what I feel really. So I think FIFA are probably right, but I can see why it's harsh and people.
They're right in a wrong way.
Yeah, it's quite a moral grey area, I believe, is the phrase. But aside, we should probably talk about matters on the pitch. Let's start talking about England, because we had a friendly and a qualifier in these past few weeks. We won our qualifier against Scotland 3-0. Did you guys watch the match?
Yep.
I sadly didn't, so I can't comment on that.
I thought England played really well.
Yeah.
Really, really well. And Scotland created quite a few chances throughout the game, but England reacted to those chances and sort of punished Scotland for missing those.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just a really good performance from England.
Yeah, I mean,
as much as it pains me to say that.
Sam said he sadly didn't watch the game. I happily didn't watch the game, because ever since the Euros, I just don't want to watch England anymore. But I heard we didn't play too great.
The game I did watch was the game versus Spain just a few days ago. Or it could have been... No, it was a few days ago.
I think was it Tuesday?
It was Tuesday.
Or Monday?
It was
Yeah.
Tuesday. And I was impressed to begin with. But then when we capitulated so horrendously in the last 10 minutes, I was like, come on, guys, this is probably the only chance you're going to get to beat Spain.
Yeah. Because
they haven't got De Gea in goal, they haven't got Sergio Ramos, they haven't got a lot of their main players.
Yeah.
Iniesta wasn't playing. And the manner of the goals was what annoyed me, because it was like the young kids that they'd brought on. I'm going to say Rashford and was it Lingard?
Lingard started, yeah.
If he started, he was all right.
Yeah, Lingard started.
But basically, I don't think it's Southgate's fault, but the people he brought on just weren't interested. They weren't tracking back. They weren't putting in the effort like the people they had replaced were. And that is directly what led to the goals.
Yeah. I think there's been a big debate over the past few years about whether it's the players' fault or the manager's fault or the establishment of the FA about England. What do you guys think? It's players or the manager?
I think it's the players, because at the end of the day, once you cross the white line, the manager can say everything he wants in the dressing room, but once you cross the white line, it's your responsibility.
Yep. I think they get paid way too much for what they do. I think it's gone to their head, and they've lost the sense of national pride that the Welsh team channels so magnificently. I've got Dave shaking his head here.
Yeah.
But it's true, they do. It's the same with the Spanish, it's the same with the Germans. The national team really means something to them. And over here, partly because I guess they get bashed in the media so much, that they just don't share that enthusiasm.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see where England can go after the Euros, because the night in France against Iceland, which was horrible. So hopefully things will get better, but don't expect too much. But the Premier League is back this week, along with also the football leagues and blah blah blah, etc etc etc. And the big match was going to kick off action on Saturday at lunchtime is the Man U versus Arsenal game, which has had some classic goals and performances over the years of the Premier League. What do you guys think is going to happen on Saturday lunchtime?
Sam, you could start this.
We, as an Arsenal fan, I'm speaking here, we are missing a few key players in the form of Bellerin, who's been ruled out for 4 months. Not 4 months, a month, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he is the best right back in the Premier League. So that's going to be a big miss. We haven't got Santi Cazorla, who is our little magic Spaniard in the middle of the park. You can see in our attacking play how much we miss him. And I think there were doubts about Alexis. However, he's played for Chile last night and scored 2 thunderbolts.
Well, basically, I think what Wenger said today is that he'd requested Sanchez not to play.
Yeah,
but because he's played, he can understand why he's played. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, he's a genetic freak of nature. They say like he's going to be out for 2 weeks or whatever, or 6 months, and he's back the next day. I don't know how he does it, but I secretly think he's Wolverine.
I think that Man U might sneak it because Arsenal's performance in the London derby against Spurs wasn't fantastic. I thought they'd sort of beat Spurs quite comfortably, but it was a draw. But when you're at Old Trafford, I think anything can happen. So
I also think that it's partly psychological as well.
I have to disagree with both of you because Tottenham have had. They've been in scintillating form from the get-go this season. They've really clicked under Pochettino. Whereas Man United have been faltering. They've had false dawns. Mourinho doesn't really know what he's doing with the squad right now. I mean, Fellaini is a problem in himself.
And Rooney.
And the ageing Rooney. Where do you play him? Do you play him? So... I mean, where are they in the table? They're about 5th, 6th?
Fifth or 8th. Well, I think last night it was 8th. But
well, I mean, they haven't improved, and the proof in the pudding is where they were under David Moyes and under Louis van Gaal, and they had more points at this stage in the season. So I don't think it's going to be definitely a United win. I would say Arsenal will probably edge it, but seeing as it is at Old Trafford, they do have the home advantage.
Plus, I think there's also another thing with this great fixture is that Mourinho versus Wenger will return and their rivalry will bubble up again, which is why I think Man U will probably edge it because of Mourinho getting out of Wenger's skin.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say about the psychological stuff, because Wenger has got such a poor record against Mourinho.
Against his Chelsea teams.
Yeah, true. But do you know what his record is against other Mourinho teams?
Well, no, because he never met them.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
He didn't meet the Real Madrids and he didn't meet the Inter Milans.
Yeah, true.
So it's only been Chelsea that he's got that record against.
Yeah.
Or against him, rather. And as I say, I just don't think that Man United squad, for all the money they've spent, is anywhere near as capable as Chelsea.
I don't think Paul Pogba's delivered for the amount of money
Let's not
that
talk about Paul Pogba. I think we talked about Paul Pogba last time we recorded Sport, and I had a massive rant about it. But you mentioned Wayne Rooney, and I don't know if you guys saw it earlier this week after the England-Scotland game, I believe it was. The press managed to get pictures of Wayne Rooney sort of having a great time and drinking and stuff like that. What do you guys think about sort of players in their free time? Because I know the FA said they're going to open sort of have an investigation into how players have free time, which sounds a bit sort of draconian to me. But so what do you guys think about that?
I just think that it's becoming a little bit of a habit of the media to try and feed around what the players are doing within their not time off, but kind of time off the pitch kind of stuff. Because it happened with Jack Grealish, it's happened with Wilshere,
Cigarette,
it's happened with Rooney now. So I think it's just becoming a bit of a habit of the media when they're having almost quiet news days kind of thing. They pick up these little niggly stories that could mean that Rooney's not threatened as such, but he could be under media scrutiny for quite a while now.
Yeah. Sam, do you have any opinion on it? Or
I think they should leave footballers' private lives to their private lives. They have the right to have a private life, and let them do their talking in the post-match interviews or in interviews that they choose to have, or on the pitch.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Sometimes we make such a big deal out of players who just have one the odd drink there. I mean, they are sort of physically fit sort of people. Plus, it's his job to be a footballer, and we all have jobs, we all have occupations, and I'm sure lots of us sort of who do drink, at least a few times a week.
Yeah, but
so they are footballers and they are meant to be fit. I get it, but it's not like they go out drinking every single day.
No, and I mean you got to look back at the culture in the 90s where
True.
Tony Adams would go out and he'd drink every night. He had a real alcohol problem, but he'd still perform.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, to my mind, just because they're a footballer doesn't mean they should be under intense media scrutiny.
Agreed.
You wouldn't like it if somebody from the paparazzi followed you to the pub on a Friday.
Yeah.
So why is it acceptable for them?
Yeah, exactly.
Agree.
And that's the football for you. Hopefully, we'll have another sports podcast maybe in the next few weeks. So we will be rounding up another group of Premier League fixtures. But now we're going to talk a bit about tennis because a lot has happened since we last recorded. Andy Murray, our very own great British player, has become world number 1, which is frankly an amazing feat. He's now the 26th player since the ranking started in I think 1985 or 73, one of those years. To be number 1, which he joins Sampras, Federer, Djokovic, all these great players. He's also playing in this week's ATP Tour World Tour Finals, which is the top 8 players of the world. I don't know if you guys have been following it too much, but I know Andy Murray's made the news.
I watched some of the match against
Nishikori. Great match,
and that was an absolute classic.
Yeah, so I think the longest
really
match, the longest match of that tournament so far, or in its record. It wasn't like a spectacularly sort of shots everywhere flying, but it was grueling and stuff like that.
And I think part of it was the fact that he'd lost to Nishikori in the US Open in such a manner where he should have wrapped the game up.
Yeah.
Against Nishikori in the US Open. And he didn't, so I think it was kind of a revenge mission.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, obviously, I don't think I think Murray becoming World 1 is more to do with his work rather than Djokovic's sort of downfall. I mean, not steady downfall. I think Djokovic will get back to form, hopefully, because for the good of the game, because he is a bloody brilliant tennis player.
And if you look at Murray's record under Lendl, it's extraordinary. Like, he won the US Open and Wimbledon, and now he's world number 1, all under Lendl.
Yeah, I mean, this year, Murray's had brilliantly this year. Olympic gold, another Wimbledon, another Australian Open final, I believe. I mean, he's been there 5-6 times and still hasn't won it. So hopefully next year he'll win an Australian Open. But if you do have sort of strong feelings about this, want to let us know what you think, do comment on our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, which is where this will be released. Maybe on SoundCloud, I'm not so sure. But please do comment on that. Please leave us good comments. Don't hate us.
And visit our Patreon.
From one sport to another, we're going to talk about the F1 as well. I think last time me and Sam talked a bit about it. Have you been following it much, or?
I've fallen off a bit because of uni work, etc., etc. But I believe it's going down to the wire. It's really, really close between Hamilton and Rosberg. I was about to say Vettel, but from an outsider, that's brilliant. I'm not an avid F1 supporter, but I like to see Hamilton do well because he's English. A bit bad of me, but yeah.
I think the thing I like about him is his tenacity.
Hamilton?
Yeah.
The
fact that he can... what was the gap before this weekend's race?
It looked as if
30-odd points.
It was before Brazil it was 19, and now
19.
It's 12. 12. Yeah.
So to come back from that position, there's not many.
Because he was about 40 points, wasn't he, at one point away?
Yeah. So for me, that just encapsulates his tenacity.
Yeah, I think,
in terms of being able to come back from that.
I believe Abu Dhabi is this week, so the season will end this week, and we will know who's world champion of F1 2016.
Come on, Lewis.
Come on, Lewis. They've both won the same amount of races, 9 and 9. The points, I'm just getting it up right now. 55, 12. Yeah, it's 12 points in it. I'm not going to go through all the permutation stuff because that could take forever. But if anyone can do it, it's Hamilton. He's proved it with his driving and over the years. So
we need a tactical engine failure.
Yeah, for Rosberg this time. He's been so unlucky this year. But hopefully that will produce a great race. Abu Dhabi is always fun to watch. So yeah, that would be cool. Football, F1, tennis. Is there anything else you guys really want to sort of bring up in sport?
I just want to talk quickly about Wales. I won't make a big deal out of it because obviously I know the majority of the listeners are English, so they probably don't care about Wales as much.
I like the Welsh team.
So for me, because I've been to the last couple of qualifiers against, I think I went to the one against Moldova and I went to the recent one against Serbia, both at home. And there's one notable thing for me, particularly from the Serbia game, is that we've still got a tiny element of a hangover from the Euros, in that we cannot seem to close a game out properly.
Right.
As in, we play well for the first hour, and then we just the wheels fall off a little bit. We can't keep the ball. We can't seem to create chances. We can't seem to kill teams off. Whereas in the Euros, particularly against Belgium in the quarter-final, we killed them off.
Yeah.
Are you missing any players through injury?
We missed Ben Davis against Serbia at the back, and you could tell that he was missing because the defenders were like rabbits in the headlights. So we seem to be missing key players when they need to
Do you think
play.
Williams' move to Everton has actually helped him, or do you think it's hindered him? I thought that was a very strange move for him to make at the age of 31.
I think it's hindered him.
Yeah,
because
he was settled at Swansea.
Yeah, and I think he's got competition for places at Everton. Particularly under a manager like Koeman, he's prepared to make changes when necessary. Koeman.
Yeah.
So, whereas at Swansea, Gary Monk and other managers trusted what Ashley could do. So
the team was almost built around him at Swansea. But I just want to get your predictions for who's going to win the league and whether they've changed.
I think last time I probably said my own team, Chelsea, and I think the title will boil down to Chelsea versus Liverpool. It's easy to say, the current top four, but that's just how it is. So I'm gonna go Chelsea, my team.
Well, there's going to be a running theme here.
I'm gonna go for Chelsea.
Don't say that,
not
Dave.
Not just because Adam's sat right next to me and I don't want to get punched.
Dave, I thought I was your friend.
The reason why I say that is because over the last 6 games, they have just been so
imperious,
consistent
since we thrashed them,
and so
put them to the sword,
and so solid that I just can't. At the moment, this could change as the season progresses,
and it will.
Which hopefully it will for the neutral.
Yeah.
Come on, you Gunners.
And
I think we all know what Sam's going to choose.
For me, they've just been so solid.
Yeah.
Right, joking aside, they are looking fantastic, the boys in blue, or the pensioners as they were known before Roman Abramovich came in with all his petrol dollars. I think they are looking good. I cannot deny Liverpool this year. They are fantastic in the attack.
Yeah.
Some of the goals they scored against us on the opening weekend were phenomenal.
Yeah, Mane's goal was brilliant. Left foot.
It was. They're looking great. They're looking solid at the back. They look better for dropping Mignolet. So I'm with you on those two. I think Man City, if they stop messing around with Aguero, will look like a force. I don't like the fact Pep is pushing him out to the wings and trying to play him in different. It's unsettling him, and in a way, I hope it does because then Wenger's going to put a bid in. So
for me, it's the fact that Guardiola cannot see his quality. I think there was a quote a couple of weeks ago where Guardiola said he's not as good as he looks.
Really?
Or something similar
Completely
to that.
Disagree with that.
And he said so. He said no. I remember what he said now. He said he's one of the most overrated players in the world.
Disagree so much.
And I saw that and I thought,
yeah,
are you being serious? Because
the only better striker that's ever been in the Premier League to me is Thierry Henry.
Yes, couldn't agree more.
I think Drogba's good, but I think Aguero's better overall.
Henry's finishing was awesome,
out of this world,
immense.
Can't think about the strikers.
We can link a video that's one of my favourites where in a game against Liverpool, Henry literally passes the ball to himself, and then scores. And I've never seen anyone do that, and I don't think I ever will. His pace is. But anyway, and the final person that I'm going to throw a hat in for, no, 2 final teams. I'm really hedging my bets here. I could see Spurs doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
And if we get a little bit more clinical, because we've got Özil, Mesut Özil, I just don't think you understand. I think Arsenal are in with a shout. Mustafi was a great buy, and hopefully Xhaka will start putting in some crunching tackles that don't get him red cards.
My outside bet would be Liverpool for the title, because they're just looking like I mentioned last time. I saw them against Leicester, and I recently saw them against Watford as well, where they won 5-1.
Yeah.
And they're
dominating.
They just keep impressing me. Like, one of my flatmates who I live with this year is a Liverpool fan, and he keeps saying to me, "Oh, we'll slip up against the small teams like Watford or Bournemouth," and they just keep impressing me every time I see them.
I reckon, like you said, Sam, Spurs will. I think if they're probably going to knock out the Champions League, maybe after the group stages, maybe. I don't know. I think they should get through the group, but they might get knocked out the round of 16.
You've just reminded me, Leicester in the Champions League.
How
well
are they doing?
It is a brilliant story.
If they win the Champions League, I'm going to be fuming.
That would probably be the biggest football shock in ever.
Imagine them beating Real Madrid in the final.
If they because they've got to beat the Real Madrid, to Barcelona, to Bayern Munich to win it, and if they beat those teams with the amount of money and Messi, Ronaldo, Muller, all those players, it'd be crazy.
I'm not going to make a stupid bet like I'll do a news report or a podcast in my underwear, because I'll probably eat my words. But it's scary.
To end, a funny fact, well, not a fact, a funny story that I heard about a few days ago, I think it was. Someone worked out, hypothetically, if you put a £5 accumulator bet on Leicester winning the league, Trump getting the president, and Brexit, or for Britain to leave the EU.
2 of which I predicted.
4 million.
I think it was 5 million. I think something crazy. A £5 bet to turn into millions of pounds on those 3 things. They obviously weren't running concurrently, so you couldn't ever do it. But imagine if you put that bet on.
Should have done it.
Should have done it. But that's all the time we have for this week. Thanks to Dave and Sam for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
Cheers, guys.
Next week we will probably have an entertainment podcast. Been a lot going on in the world of entertainment, so hopefully we'll be bringing that to you soon. Sam, do you want to say something?
And if you haven't checked it out, please go on to The Voices website or our Facebook page and go and check out myself, Duncan, Sean and Halide break down what happened in the US election and why we are now staring President-elect Trump in the face.
We also have a variety of podcasts up there. We've got our news ones from a few weeks ago, as well as our old sport, as well as our own entertainment and politics one as well. Tune in for those, and thank you very much for listening. It's the end of the podcast, so thank you very much for listening, and have a nice day.